a voice teacher here at Conservatory of the Ozarks with a mystery student today who feels she looks too ugly to be on camera, even though she looks so beautiful. So I want to practice, and just so look in the mirror, since you are not going to see your face in the camera, and oh, here, maybe I'll move this over here, and then that way you can see my face in the mirror too. Not necessarily my face, but my mouth. Because we're going to practice making some shapes with the vocal tract first, and then we'll do the breathing exercise layered on top of the shape once we've established the shape we want. Technique, you know, is how you do the thing you're doing. So when we're singing, a way of perfecting our technique is to simplify the task. So we're trying to sing. A big part of singing well is, and healthily, is with the way you breathe. And so I want to remove lyrics, and now even remove the process of singing, and now I'm even going to remove the process of breathing and just think about the shape we want to make to breathe, so we can perfect that one tiny element of the breath. So just practice making an ah vowel shape with your mouth, which means you let your lower teeth drop down away from your upper teeth like this. Perfect. And the tip of your tongue will be pressed against your lower teeth, the roots of your lower teeth, so the tip of your tongue feels both gum and teeth. And you just feel like your jaw, your lower jaw is wrapping around your neck. Totally relaxed and open. And at the same time, you can think of lifting your soft palate. And at the same time, and you understand what that means now, right? So I'm not going to say a whole lot about that. And then at the same time, you can think of relaxing the base of your tongue down here, which will feel sort of like maybe swallowing. I will imagine that I have a tiny weighted blanket on the base of my tongue, just gently. So you're creating a lot of space in the back of your mouth by doing that, and also space in the front of your mouth. So if I just make that shape and that's all I do, I also will be taking air in. Like not breathing the air in is almost impossible if you make that shape. So try to make the shape. Like you can't stop the air from coming in. The air is creating pressure all around us because air has mass and weight, even though we can't perceive the air around us. So just like if you put an empty cup under a sink full of water, the water will rush into the cup because the cup has this empty space, and the water has water pressure, and the pressure will force the water's way into the empty space. The air will do the same thing with our bodies if we create the space. Does that make sense? So now the next step is going a little farther down and thinking about your pipe, your trachea. So you can think of opening that part as well. So we'll start with just opening here, and then open the pipe. And then I really can't stop myself from inhaling. Do you feel that? So it's like the shape is sort of the cause, and then the air rushing in is the effect. So we just are creating the environment needed for the air to come in. We don't have to suck the air in, and we don't really want to use our nose to breathe the air in, because this is a much smaller amount of space than this. And so when we inhale, either we should hear a low-pitched sound like this, or maybe nothing at all. If we hear something like this, a high-pitched sound, we're creating constriction in our trachea or somewhere in our vocal tract, and the constriction creates obstruction for the airflow and makes sound. A smaller space makes a higher pitch than a lower space. So we want to open to let all the air in. And like usually we kind of think of breathing in as being the beginning of phonation or singing, but really I want you to think of the first step being even before the breath. The first step is the shape. So just make the shape again, and without even thinking about it, hopefully your tummy is releasing and the air is rushing in. So if you had like you're doing your hand on your tummy, you can feel this expansion when you make the open shape. The end result is your tummy pops out. So let's deliberately try to breathe in a few times like that. So we open, and that shape, at least in the back, does not need to change when you begin phonating. In fact, we don't want it to. We're trying to set the stage for our phonation with our inhalation. And so then the next step would be getting the air out. And so for that, we're going to bring our lips into an ooh shape like this, which partially occludes our vocal tract. So this is a semi-occluded breathing exercise. And partially occluding the exit allows more control of the airflow. If you exhale like this, like you run out of air very quickly because you have no occlusion for the exit route and no control over the airflow. So we're going to make pursed lips into an ooh shape, but keep the open space in the back that we had for the ah shape when we inhaled. So we'll make the shape to breathe in, and then gently use the muscles in the abdominal wall to gently squeeze the air out using these muscles down here, which is really the only time we want to think of deliberately squeezing when we're singing. It's only here, and just gently. So we'll make the space, the open space to breathe in. And so that's the candle blow exercise. And you could also put your hands on your lower ribs and see if you can feel your lower ribs expand open like an umbrella opening as you are inhaling, and then softening gently as you are exhaling. So open your mouth, open your pipe, let the air in. And as you make the ooh shape and you let the exhale happen, see if you can keep the openness in the back of your throat. Don't let the throat collapse. So sort of the feeling of like if you start to yawn and you're like trying to talk and like you keep talking, but you can feel the stretch open part at the top of the back of the roof of your mouth. We want to feel that feeling as we're exhaling, even though our lips are going into this ooh shape. So the candle blow is a really great way to start off your practice routine because you can practice the perfect shape and the perfect way of breathing, and then all you have to do is then layer on top of that singing instead of exhaling. So let's try a couple more. We breathe in, release to inhale. One other element you could think about that can add a lot of power to your singing voice is releasing your pelvic floor. So we're thinking of releasing our abdominal wall this way, and at the same time, our diaphragm is sinking down like this. And so when our diaphragm is sinking down like this to make room for the air, we want to also release our pelvic floor, which will feel like the sensation of if you're going to pee and you're trying to just release all of the muscles in your pelvic floor. So as you inhale, you can feel this expansion down and out all at the same time. So see if you can release your abdominal wall and also release your pelvic floor at the same time while you inhale. First make the shape on top, and then the air is going to make all these changes keep happening down low like a domino effect. And then exhale by contracting the abdominal wall and the pelvic floor, which will feel like the opposite, like you're trying not to pee, like when you're waiting in line for the restroom when you're a little kid and you're like, ah, and everybody's like, oh no, hurry. So that feeling of like, clenching everything up. Just gently, just like with the abdominal wall. So we release. And then the next step, I'll just go ahead and add on here, would be, I would say, to do a siren next. So, which you already tried, so you can try to remember how that felt. Do you feel comfortable doing that right now? Or do you want to stop the...
Yeah, I'm probably good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. To record it or to stop it?
I'm probably
Stop it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll try that next, and that would be the thing to do. Do a siren, do like an exercise like we just did, then do these exercises, and then try to breathe this way, but instead of... do your siren on the breath,
Okay.
and then do the exercise on the breath, and see what differences you notice, because you should see some differences from before to after, hopefully. Any questions? Okay, great. All right. So now try the inhale